Hello, and welcome to another edition of Focus. I'm your host, Vernon Bolling. 40 years we've been presenting you Focus. We've been talking to various community leaders. We've been talking about different events. You name it, we've talked about it that affect the African American community. And for all those 40 years, there's only been a few people who've been connected with Focus. And every now and then you'll hear me talk about Tony. Well, he's very, very important towards the show, getting it on the air, edited, shooting it, and doing everything else. And myself, who's been hosting it. But from time to time, we try to have other people who come on and show a little interest in doing it. One of those such persons is Fatima Halim. Fatima is a household word in the Valley, Afrocentric, very connected to the community, and a lot of you know her. She's gonna be presenting shows, and she's gonna be still bring you things that affect the African American community. So please, don't touch the remote. We're gonna be trying to stay up with the times. This and more when Focus continues.
My husband was deployed in October of 2009.
After he left, everything just felt like it sank.
Just didn't really like life at the time.
The hardest thing was just trying to figure out a new routine.
When you're a military family, things like the arts really are extra here at ASU Gamage. The Arizona Lottery enables 200 military dependents to come to the theater 3 times a year. This is our way of saying thank you, and we can never say thank you enough.
Lynette Campbell, how does it feel to be the recipient of the Community Awards at the NAACP Freedom Fund Image Award dinner this evening?
It feels wonderful. I tell you, all the hard work we put into the community with the NAACP, and to be honored and recognized is really a privilege.
How many years approximately have you been with the NAACP?
I joined the NAACP in 1999, so it's been quite a few years.
What's next? What do you see the next movement for the NAACP is?
To grow our youth, get more youth involved, and to establish a bigger movement with the youth.
Thank you very much for taking time out of this busy time that you have. Okay.
Right.
I'm from Winona.
Is that right? I know where Winona is. I know exactly where that is.
I would like to welcome, I shouldn't say welcome because you're welcoming me.
Absolutely.
Nancy Thomas Jones, who
Yes.
is the dinner chair.
Yes.
To the NAACP Freedom Fund Image Award dinner.
Yes.
How hard has it been?
Not really hard at all. I mean, I've been doing this for the last 10 or 15 years, so it's come really comfortable with me as far as organizing it. So I enjoy it.
What's the biggest challenge?
Getting a guest speaker.
Who is the guest speaker going to be this evening?
The Honorable Art Hamilton.
Oh yes, and people who locally know
Yeah, he's a good
Art
speaker.
Hamilton. He's a fantastic speaker.
Yes, he is.
So, and basically, when this is over, I guess you take a deep breath. How soon do you get started with the next one?
Actually, we make the date probably next week on what we're going to have for next year, the date we're having. So it's immediately, really, getting the date.
Already?
Yeah.
Do you ever rest?
Yes, sometimes.
Nancy, thank you. Congratulations
Thank
for,
you.
from what I see so far, it's going to be a beautiful success.
And congratulations to you
Thank you very much.
for getting the business award.
Well, thank you for making me feel so honored of giving me the business award.
Thank you so much.
And good luck to you, and we'll
Okay.
we'll talk to you a little later.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
No, you didn't.
You're gonna make it,
I was like, no, you didn't.
I'm making movies.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The Honorable Lee Landrum Taylor winning the Roy Wilkins Award. How do you feel about that?
You know, I've had many awards, but when
you
get an award of this magnitude from something like the NAACP, an organization that's been around fighting for people, fighting for justice, making sure that any wrong is right, then it's more than an honor. And my grandpa would always say, when thank you is just not enough, you just say much obliged. And that's how I feel this evening.
Well, I can say, because we've talked many times, that you deserve this award. I mean, the things you've done for the community, the fight and the struggles that you've had within the community, and you don't ever seem to give up. I mean, you never seem to give up. Where did you get this fighting disposition from?
This is home.
This is home.
And when it's home and it's your territory, you're going to fight for what's right. I'm a third generation native of this state and of the community that I represent. And now my children, they're fourth generation. So it's worth fighting for. And anything that's worth fighting for, we know does not always come easy. But it's always worth it in the end. So different things that we've been able to move forward, even this year in the legislative session, we were able to get our African American Commission and get those dollars restored back. And that was something I wanted to do before I retired from the legislature. It was accomplished, and we were able to get great things done for education, still fighting for children in foster care, and wanting to make sure that we get that new CPS department put together in the right way.
I wanted to ask you, my last question was what's next, but you may be answering it already, but what is the next big struggle before you head out of here?
I would definitely have to say making sure that we get prevention dollars, whether it's helping out with assistance for families that need the child care subsidy, family builders, really putting a department together that's going to work. Other than that, why bother doing all this? Why bother separating that department on its own to have the same thing going on? Tough decisions have to be made. The culture has to be changed within the new department, and bold steps have to occur, and I want to be right there. The governor has me a part of that strategic team to put this together, and we're going to do some bold steps.
What's next for you? Last question. What is next for you politically? I know you're going somewhere.
You know, my options are wide open.
Very wide open.
I'm very excited about but for right now, I'm going to take a little time, enjoy myself, enjoy my family, and then go ahead and make some decisions from that point forward.
Once again, Lee Landrum Taylor, congratulations. Well-deserved award, well-deserved person who's receiving the award. And I look forward to talking to you very soon.
And thank you for all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
All right, take care.
Well, you're going to see more of the recipients who are the Image Award winners this evening. We're going to show you a little bit of them receiving the awards, and as well as maybe have an opportunity to speak to a few additional people. There's a lot of folks here this evening, a lot of VIPs, a lot of important people. So this is like old home week, seeing people I haven't seen in a while. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause. When we come back, we're going to go inside, we're going to see the recipients, we're going to sit down and break bread with friends and relatives and stuff along those lines. So we'll be right back with more when Focus continues.
My husband was deployed in October of 2009.
After he left, everything just felt like it sank.
Just didn't really like life at the time.
The hardest thing was just trying to figure out a new routine.
When you're a military family, things like the arts really are extra here at ASU Gamage. The Arizona Lottery enables 200 military dependents to come to the theater 3 times a year. This is our way of saying thank you, and we can never say thank you enough.
One thing you got to learn when you're a rancher, leave it better for the next generation. I'm Jim Ohako. I'm a rancher at a place called Shovelin Butte.
Arizona Game and Fish has been working with Jim Ohako to maintain and enhance wildlife habitat. Without the lottery, we couldn't do the work we're doing, and we couldn't make the efforts that we are right now.
This ranch is like a family member. It's just part of us. And I think through these projects that we've done, it is better. It's a win-win situation. We're improving the habitat for everything for future generations.
I'm sitting with Dr. Anna Battle, who is receiving the NAACP Image Award for Education.
Yes, sir.
First, let me say congratulations to you. And how does it feel to be a recipient of this award?
I am absolutely thrilled. You know, to be able to receive an image award from NAACP is just fabulous. When I received the call, I was in awe and speechless. I would say I'm representing many people. I'm thankful for all the many years that I've been able to serve other people's children in education, and this award definitely exemplifies what I do, what I've done for the last 27 years. So I'm definitely appreciative and excited to be here this evening.
How long have you been in Phoenix?
I have been in Phoenix since I've been at Arizona State University, and I arrived in 1980.
Okay. What do you think of the educational system in Phoenix, Arizona?
You know, as far as the big picture goes, I'm a person that says there's always room for improvement, but I believe that society truly doesn't have a clear picture about what Arizona schools have done. So I would say personally, we're doing a good job. In some areas, we're doing a great job. But moreover, everyone has the desire to do even better, which makes Arizona a great state.
Where are you educating at?
I'm sorry.
Well, where are you teaching at?
Oh, actually, I'm the principal at Desert Vista High School.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring you down to being just a teacher.
No, I am a teacher.
Well, are you a principal and a teacher?
I believe principals are teachers, sir.
Well, I believe you're right.
Yes.
I believe you're right. I believe you're mistreated and underpaid, but that's a different story. That's when we do another interview. So.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Well, let me just ask this last question. If you could say one improvement of the educational system, you can make it local, you can make it national, what would it be?
I would say the greatest thing that we can do is continue to inform people about what we do. A number of people are coming to the table with information and background experiences which don't validate what we do today. So as long as people are willing to know what we're doing in schools today matters, not what school used to be like, then they come aboard and we can do things collectively. I truly think that's the problem right now, is that people are coming to the table with a misunderstanding of what education truly is. So to answer the question, I'd say the problem is people need to erase what they thought school was and embrace what school is today.
Congratulations once again. It was good seeing and talking with you. And I hope you win a lot more awards. And I think educators should be paid more.
Yes, sir. I don't disagree.
In comparison to whoever,
Yes.
But I just think we don't give teachers their rightful due. It's my pleasure, and I always say that to you.
Yes, sir.
Because it is my pleasure.
Mine as well.
To speak with the Honorable Art Hamilton, who's a guest speaker at the NAACP Freedom Fund Image Award dinner this evening. It has been good. You know, I don't know when it's the last time we've spoke, but it's been too long. It has been too long.
Well, again, it's just joy to be here, Vernon, and to be in your company makes this very, very special. You and I have been trooping down these roads and doing the Lord's work in this city for a long time. Anytime I see you, I know I'm in the right place.
Well, I appreciate that. You are, they say, guest speaker. What is and I don't want to take any thunder away from your message, but what are you going to say to the people, those who aren't here with us this evening? What's your message going to be?
The basic thrust of my message is that the power to change this community, any place we live, for the better, is within our own hands. And if we've made any mistakes at all, it is in giving that power to others and assuming that they would do that for us. We have to regain and retake control of our own communities, our own faith, and our own future. If we do that, it will be bright. If we leave it to others, we don't have any hope.
What are you going to be doing, sir? What is your future holding for you here in Phoenix, Arizona?
Well, right now I'm working with my little company, the Art Hamilton Group, trying to help some folks get their business down at the Capitol and elsewhere. But my deal right now is to do what the good book talks about. They talk about old men for counsel and young men for war, or young people for war. So I've been trying to advise some of the youngsters who are coming up, helping them, trying to show them the ropes, helping get them through some of the red tape, and making sure that we have people in the pipeline who are prepared to take over a position of leadership as they become available. And where they're not available, make some room for us.
I want to say once again, thank you very much for talking to me. And I'm going to be in touch now. I'm going to be in touch with you.
I will not be hard to find.
Well, no, I know you're not. That's why I don't even need to worry about a call. It's my pleasure to speak with the Honorable Reverend Oscar Tillman, the president of the Maricopa County NAACP, and I have to say that very loosely. I don't know if it's out there yet, so I'm gonna say you are talking of stepping down.
I have already made my announcement.
Now, the mayor says you're not stepping down. I just want to let you know, I just finished talking to him.
I am.
You are.
I am. It's been a long time. I joined the NAACP as a youth in 1952 in North Carolina. And I have served all across this country and my whole military career in law enforcement. I was an equal opportunity person, and I worked with the NAACP everywhere I went. So I just think it's time to let someone else step up to the plate.
Is that what it is? You think it's just time that
It's
someone
time.
else?
It's time, because you need to know when to let someone else step in. And I think it's time that, I've done everything I could do, and I think I'll work with the youth and try to train people in all these years. I was the president in Tacoma, Washington. I'm on the first person in the state of Arizona to be on the NAACP National Board. So I think I've done what I wanted to do with NAACP, but I just believe that it's time to let someone else step in. And that's what I'm doing.
My last question to you, because I know we're here at the dinner. Congratulations for another fabulous job with the dinner. What would you say is your greatest accomplishment as you worked in the NAACP? Can you put your finger on one?
I believe it's getting people to understand that voting is the most important thing you can do. Don't worry about the jobs and all that. Worry about voting. When you get out and vote, regardless of whether your candidate win or lose, you voted, walk away. But you voted. And that's the one thing I want to carry away with me, is that I pushed, I did everything, I pleaded to get people to vote.
I want to say, and I know we are going to talk, but I want to say it's been a pleasure from the very first day that I met you. From all the interviews we've done, you've been a straight shooter. You tell me, and you've been a fighter. You've been a fighter so I hope the next president that comes in, they've got some big shoes to fill. I hope they'll fill them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To say just a few words about this remarkable young man. When I asked him what he wanted me to say, he said, "Just get up and introduce me. Just say very little." But I think it would be a disservice and a dishonor to him not to tell you a few things about his remarkable work and service. He is a life fully paid member of the Maricopa County NAACP. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to your feet and let's give a well-deserving round of appreciation for our keynote speaker, the Honorable Mr. Vernon Hamilton.
President Fandel, I didn't think you'd really read all that. Here's the money. You gotta do what you gotta do. I am reminded by some folks that I've been at this podium before in a Freedom Fund dinner. Cody Williams, his honorable judge, told me he only came because he thought this was my 12th time to do this, and there was a term limit of a dozen. Councilman Michael Johnson was a bit more delicate. He suggested every time he sees me up here, it brings back to mind the movie The Groundhog Day. And Senator Landry Taylor was the kindest of all. She said, hearing me speak is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. To the distinguished mayors of this valley, distinguished members of city councils, legislators, statewide officials, distinguished members of the clergy. It's an honor to be here, not because this is the Freedom Fund dinner, but because from my point of view, this is a celebration. Now everybody says that you're not going to be here long. Trust me, I'm all the same between you and the door, and I understand that. But it would not be proper if we didn't take a moment to recognize the sacrifice of Oscar Tillman. The reality is the job he has done these many years is hard. It is difficult. And oftentimes he's had to do it alone. But he made it clear when he came here that he would not be moved. And all these years later, he's still standing. And we honor that. I've been doing a little bit of reading, which for me is probably good. And how many of you have been following this whole controversy about Common Core standards for our kids in school? I thought the whole notion of Common Core was a good one, at least as an idea. But it got me thinking about some other things. I went to the dictionary. I actually own one of those. I don't actually do it online because I'm not that smart. But the term common normally refers to things that are done or accepted by many people. The core talks about whatever is central, foundational, apart, and distinct. And standard refers to a level of quality and achievement that can be counted on. I understand that this new world of education talks about some common core standards. But what it reminded me of was that I grew up at a time in this city when the folks who helped to raise me and people like me had some common core standards they sought to impart to their children. I thought, do we still have those standards today? And if we do we honor them? I believe we do. But I believe we need to work at kind of sharpening our commitment to them. Senator Landry Taylor, you've done incredible work on a lot of things, certainly in education. And I've been reading lately of people who've been writing that our schools are failing our children. So being the bright guy that I am, Reverend Roberson, I went over to the schoolhouse a couple of days ago, and I just stood there for 2 hours, staring at that building. And I kept waiting to see what that building was going to do for the children. I left pretty much having figured out that the building doesn't educate the children, so the building cannot fail. Schools cannot fail our children. The responsibility to educate our children is ours, not the school. We're lucky, we're blessed to have local boards. A number of people here I know serve on those boards. But we need to engage in a way that is formidable in terms of trying to turn around our schools and our education system. We spend a considerable amount of money in Arizona for education. Not nearly enough, not even beginning to be enough. I have taken up lately to doing things that I stopped doing, gotten back to it. I want to commend you all that we take time to write a letter. It's an archaic thing to do. Write a letter. Put down in writing somewhere, even though I know computers are what they are, something that our children, your children, mine, can read when we are gone. Read a book, any book, and share it with people who may not have had the opportunity to read that book that you have. Travel. The greatest enemy of bigotry and bias is the ability to travel and to see the world and to see that people, no matter where you happen to be, have things to offer and things that ought to be respected. I am a dyed-in-the-wool born American, but I must tell you, the world outside of these great borders are full of wonderful people for whom we ought to have more interest, for whom we should show more respect, and for whom we should be willing to embrace and care. Because frankly, not only do we have much to share with them, they have much to teach us. I'm winding down. We must rebuild the Common Core core standards of fear and respect. I'm not talking about a physical fear. No one should fear us in that kind of way. But we must rebuild a fearful respect for our willingness to doggedly defend the rights we have won. And whether those rights were won from people in white sheets or people in silk suits, we must doggedly defend the rights we won. Charles Evers, the late Charles Evers, our burden in this capital city, or whether it be Scottsdale or Tempe or any of the other great cities in this state or any place in the country, is to let our commitment be a spark in the lives of ourselves and the people we touch. And if the people in this room can all get that spark, we can press those sparks together and they can become a flame. And the glow from that fire can one day light the world. So let us be about starting that fire and then taking the fire up to a hill overlooking this valley, so that when people come seeking justice, when they come seeking fairness, when they come seeking opportunity, they will know that this is that place. If you cannot get there on your own, follow that flame, because it is designed to let you know that people care and are committed. That is our common core value. That is what we share, irrespective of color, creed, sex, whatever. That is our common core. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our children. We owe it to each other. And we owe it to the sacred promise given back at the beginning and founding of this great country. Let us look beyond our borders. Let us look beyond ourselves. Let us look within ourselves and find the common core decency that allows us to do whatever is required to make this a better place. God bless you.
Hey, I hope you had a great time. I've enjoyed this. The NAACP Image Award Freedom Fund Dinner on my staff behalf, because if it wasn't for my staff, I would not have received the Businessman of the Year award. I want to say, hey, they're very much a part of this award. I want to say thank you for the NAACP for giving it to me, but I want to thank you for viewing us. We've been on for 41 years. It's a long time. We're going to continue to bring important events, things that are happening within the communities of color, and we hope you'll stay with us. Join us next week when Focus continues. Same time, same station. We'll see you next week.